Hi, it's good to see you. How's your week been?
It's been okay overall. I'm just really busy with school and internship, so I feel like I'm constantly trying to catch up.
That sounds exhausting. What has been feeling the most overwhelming lately?
Mostly balancing everything. Like I'm in classes, I'm in internship, I'm trying to keep up with my assignments. I just feel guilty whenever I try to take a break because there's literally always something else I should be doing.
So even when you're trying to rest, your mind's still telling you that you should be productive.
Exactly. hmm
Okay. What kind of thoughts usually come up when you do get to take a break?
Things like you're falling behind or other people are handling this better than you. Like those are kind of things that really bother me.
Those sound, those thoughts sound pretty critical. When you compare yourself to others in the program, how does that affect you emotionally?
I don't know, it makes me anxious mostly when I see everybody else like doing great at their sites, and sometimes it kind of discourages me too.
That makes sense. A lot of people in graduate programs experience that pressure, especially in helping professions where everyone seems very motivated and put together on the outside. Do you feel like you hold yourself to a very high standard?
Definitely, like I feel like I'm not doing everything perfectly, then I'm failing somehow. Like I guess perfectionism.
I hear a lot of pressure in that. Let's slow that down and think for a moment. You mentioned if I'm not doing everything perfectly, I'm failing. What evidence do you usually use to support that thought?
Hmm. Honestly, I think it's just my own expectations. Like nobody has actually told me that I'm failing.
That's important to notice. Sometimes our external expectations become much harsher than what others expect from us, right?
hmm
A classmate told you they were struggling to balance internship, school, and life responsibilities. Would you view them as failing?
Um, Probably not. I would think they were doing their best.
What makes it easier to extend compassion to them rather than to yourself?
Oh, clock my teeth.
Mm,
Um, I don't know. I feel like I expect a lot more from myself. Why? I'm not sure.
that's very insightful. Sometimes we develop a habit of measuring our worth on performance. Person-centered therapy really emphasizes separating your value as a person from your productivity. You're still worthy even though you're overwhelmed or imperfect.
It's like I know that logically, but sometimes it's really hard to actually believe it.
Absolutely. Insight and emotional belief don't always happen at the same place or go hand in hand. One thing CBT can help with, is identifying those automatic thoughts and testing whether they are completely accurate. Right. So, for example, when your mind said, everyone is handling this better than me, how certain are you that this is true?
Now that I think about it, probably not very certain. Most people are stressed. Honestly, they're stressed out too.
Right. Sometimes our brains interpret stress as personal failure instead of recognizing that the workload itself is difficult, right? What do you think would change emotionally if you reframed the situation from I'm failing to I'm overwhelmed because I'm managing a lot?
Hmm. I think I would feel a lot less ashamed about it.
Okay, less ashamed. That's definitely a difference. Shame tends to make people shut down, while acknowledging stress can create room for problem solving and self-compassion.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually.
What are you currently doing to cope when you notice yourself becoming overwhelmed?
Um, Mostly procrastinating. I scroll on my phone and watch videos for way too long, and then I'm like, oh, I could have been doing something else.
And after that, how do you usually feel?
Worse, because then I'm behind and stressed out about being behind and wasting my time.
hmm
Yeah.
That cycle is very common, unfortunately. Avoidance temporarily lowers your anxiety, but then increases your stress later. Instead of judging yourself for it, we can look at it as coping, but it may not be helping long term, right?
I never really thought about it that way.
So, what do you think might be a more balanced coping strategy when you notice yourself shutting down and getting on your phone?
Maybe actually taking a timed break instead of disappearing into my phone for hours.
Okay,
That might help. Yeah.
that sounds realistic and definitely achievable. I like that it's not extreme or perfectionist.
Hmm.
What else helps you feel grounded outside of school?
Spending time with my family and friends, I crochet here and there and paint a little bit. So that also helps me feel a little bit more grounded.
That sounds like meaningful outlets. Creative activities can really be regulating because they seem to like slow the nervous system down and give your mind a break from constant academic demands.
Yeah, when I actually let myself do them, I feel better.
Yes, I noticed you said let myself. Kind of
Ooh,
sounds like there's still permission you feel you have to earn before resting or enjoying things.
yeah, that's true. That's true actually. That's really true.
I understand. If you continue operating at this level without intentional rest, what do you think could happen emotionally or physically?
I probably burn out.
I think that's definitely a reasonable assumption. What would it look like to start preventing burnout instead of waiting until you reach it?
Um, Maybe setting some boundaries with school, and school working more, like not working on assignments until midnight every night, you
Mhm.
know. Yeah.
That sounds like it would be a healthy boundary. CBT often focuses on small behavioral changes because they can shift emotional patterns over time slowly. You don't have to completely change your personality overnight to improve your stress levels.
That's reassuring, honestly.
Good, I'm glad. Before we wrap up, what would you like to focus on between now and our next session?
I don't really think. I think I would want to work on catching those thoughts where I assume where I'm failing all the time.
I think that sounds like a really good goal. Maybe when you notice those thoughts this week, you could pause and ask yourself, is this a fact or is this pressure I'm placing on myself? How does that feel to try?
I think I can do that. Yeah,
Okay, good.
I can do that.
Yeah, I think so too. I also want to acknowledge that despite how stressed you feel, you've continued showing up for your responsibilities, your education, yourself, and that really matters.
You know what? Thank you, because I really needed to hear that. Like, I needed a little pat on the back. I appreciate that.
I'm happy to pat you on the back. We'll definitely continue working on balancing expectations with self-compassion next time.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.